Today I'm here to show you how to make a syrup, an onion and honey syrup, which is particularly good for any respiratory issues that you might have, so a chest infection or a sore throat or a cough. So it's basically like a natural cough syrup. So to start off with, we need to make sure firstly that we have a very clean bench space. I've wiped the bench with some antibacterial wipe just to make sure that there's no bugs around, and I will pop on a pair of gloves as well, just to make sure that we prepare this syrup with proper hygiene. Okay, and I've also just made sure that I've disinfected all the utensils that I'll be using as well. Okay, so to start off making this onion syrup, I'm just going to go through what we'll need. So I've got everything pretty much in front of me here. So I've got a chopping board, some cling wrap, I've got a bowl here, a pouring device, a strainer, a funnel, a clean knife, a clean spoon, and then I've also got a glass jar to store the syrup in later on when we're done. I've also got here a large brown onion. I've got some garlic here. Now I'm not going to add this into my mix, but you can actually use garlic if you want to as well. And I've got some organic honey. So the honey is an antibacterial, so that's really effective in the syrup. We've got an onion, which is an antiseptic and a natural antibiotic as well, and then the garlic is also antibacterial. Alright, so how we're going to start is chopping the onion. Now, as we all know, the onion chopping can be quite an irritating experience for the eyes. The onion, as you chop it, will give off a gas that is particularly irritating to your eyes. So you can choose whichever way works for you to try and minimise the irritation. One way that I found is quite effective is chopping the onion with the kitchen vent on. So if you want to do that, it's good because the gases will be extracted away from the eyes, so you'll find that actually you shouldn't get any tears or any irritation. Another way that's particularly effective is popping on a pair of goggles. So it depends on if you want to look like you're about to go for a swim while you're making the syrup, but that's very effective because the gases don't actually get into the eyes at all, so you'll find there'll be zero irritation. Okay, so starting off, we're going to top and tail the onion. I'll just move this so you can see. Okay, so we're going to top and tail the onion. Those bits there. Take the skin off. Dispose of that. You won't be needing that part. So we'll get rid of that there. Okay, then what I'm going to do is finely slice the onion. It doesn't need to be too fine, just basically enough so that you can break it apart and fit it in the bowl. Just get that bit of skin off there as well. So it's nice to use a large brown onion for this one. Just so you've got enough onion in the mix. Okay, so then you pop that into the bowl, breaking it apart as you pop it in. Sometimes I like to just leave out that little bit of core of the onion. So I'll just get rid of that and keep going with the rest of the bits here. Breaking them apart. There we go. So I'll just show you. We've got all the chopped up bits of the onion in the bowl. Okay, so what we're ready to do now is pour the honey over the top. Okay, so you don't need to measure out the honey. Basically what you need to do is pour it over the top of the onion, just enough so the onion's covered and basically immersed by the honey in the bowl. So I used quite a large onion, so I'm finding that I'm having to use quite a bit of honey here. So that's enough there. So I'll just pop the lid back on. So I'll show you. We've got the honey completely covering the pieces of onion in there. So what I'm going to do here with my spoon is just mix it around. And what you'll find that happens is the honey actually draws out the juice of the onion. So as this happens, you'll find the consistency to turn quite watery and essentially into a syrup. So just mix it all around. Okay, so you can see already that the juice of the onion is diluting the honey. Now, not only is the honey good for its antibacterial properties, but it'll also make the syrup taste a lot better and be very gentle on your throat, very soothing on the throat. Okay, so now that we've got that there, what I'm going to do is cover that and pop it in the fridge. It'll need to go in the fridge and stay there for about 3 to 5 hours, but generally it's better to leave it overnight. So the juice will completely extract from the onion and it'll mix very nicely with the honey into a syrup. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pop some cling wrap on that, put it in the fridge. And I'm going to swap it over and take one out that I prepared earlier. So here's the mixture that I prepared yesterday. I popped that in the fridge, so that's been left there definitely at least overnight, maybe half a day yesterday as well. So it's very, very watery in consistency, perfect to use as the natural cough syrup. Okay, so what I've got here is a glass bottle. This is where we're going to package the syrup. I've got a label as well, so I'll stick the label on, I'll put today's date, and I will label it as onion syrup. And generally we'll keep in the fridge in this jar for about up to 6 months. and you can use it quite generously. It's very soothing on the throat, as I said, and great for any kind of infection or irritation in the throat. So you'll also find that this syrup with the onion in it will be an expectorant as well, so that will actually help remove any mucus that you might have as part of the infection. So you'll find that that'll come up as you cough, and that's brought on by the onion. So it's a very effective way of getting rid of the mucus and hurrying along your recovery from the infection. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is firstly use the pouring jug and the strainer, and we've got the mixture here, and I'm going to pour it through. Obviously the strainer will catch any of the bits of onion. Okay, so that's the rest of the mixture there. So that's caught all the liquid syrup there in the jug. Just going to strain the rest of that off. All those little last bits. Put that aside. I'm going to take the cap off the bottle and use the funnel to pour in the syrup. Okay, so that filled the bottle up about halfway. So what I'll do with the other large onion and honey that I just used and popped in the fridge, I'll wait about 3 to 5 hours and I'll add that to the jar, to the bottle. Put that aside there. Put the cap back on. So that's ready to go. So I'm just going to taste a little bit of it now. You just have to test it first. So I might just grab a clean spoon. So take the lid off. Pour some here. So that's very, very soothing on the throat. You can taste the onion, but the honey masks the oniony flavour. You're still getting obviously all the benefits of the honey. Of the honey and the onion. But it's quite a pleasant taste. And you can take a couple of spoonfuls of that a few times a day, and you'll find that that will really soothe and help you to heal quickly from whatever kind of respiratory issue you might have. So this will last in the fridge. I'll pop this in the fridge. It will last for about 6 months. I'll label it, and that is how you make an onion syrup. So a natural cough syrup using honey and onion.